Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most, Granville. You dirty nasty boy, yo. You get exactly what you were supposed to get. Okay, Granville Ritchie sentenced to death for what he did to 9-year-old Felicia Williams. This is a Jamaican, a full Jamaican who did not come to the United States of America until he was in his 30s. By the time he had hit 40, he had committed this heinous crime. Now, the thing about this is, I am pretty sure that he had done this in Jamaica before, but we're not going to talk about that. Let's talk about long run, short catch. Let's talk about his day has come and justice has been served. I hope the Jamaican authorities take a look at this, take a picture out this book, take a page out of this book and see how justice is fully served. Now, Hillsborough County, Florida, Granville Ritchie will face the death penalty for the rape and murder of 9-year-old Felicia Williams. A judge has decided that. Here is the whole court proceedings, and I will speak to you more and give you the complete rundown with details of the story and the case as it goes.
Sentenced to death. Today, a judge upheld a death sentence against Granville Ritchie. He's convicted of raping and murdering a 9-year-old girl and then dumping her body off the Howard Franklin Bridge 6 years ago. ABC Action News reporter Isabel Rosales was at the court today during a very emotional hearing. It was absolutely an emotional day for the family of Felicia Williams. Even the judge cried. But perhaps the most stunning moment came from the little girl's father and his calm words to the man who took his world. Judge Michelle Cisco handing down the state's ultimate punishment, death.
May God have mercy on your soul, Mr. Ritchie.
One by one, the victim's family described the sleepless nights Granville Ritchie caused them by raping and murdering 9-year-old Felicia Williams. Her grandmother.
I just miss my grandbaby.
Her sister.
She meant the world to us, and he discarded her like she was nothing.
Her mother.
I've waited 2,310 days for this day to come.
Felicia Demerson says she wore black to, quote, bury Ritchie today.
The only thing I regret today is that I cannot ask for his fate. And that would be for him to be hung, for him to feel what my daughter felt.
Even the judge was unable to hold back her own tears.
My heart breaks for you as a mother. Absolutely breaks for you as a mother.
But one of the most remarkable moments came from the victim's father.
I forgive you, bro. That's how strong my God is. I come in and smile at you today with no harm or ill will towards you. You my brother. You made a mistake. But you got time. You got time to get right with God, bro.
Williams says Ritchie must answer to a higher authority.
Get on your knees and you pray. Because the journey you got ahead of you gonna need God.
But the journey toward justice isn't over. Ritchie will likely spend years in death row before his execution and after any and all appeals have been exhausted.
During the sentencing hearing, several family members of Williams, which is the little girl, spoke, including her mother, grandmother, father, and older sister. I've waited 2,310 days for this day to come. That was very touching from her mother. 2,310 days, but justice has finally been served. Never mind, he has been incarcerated. He was not let out on bail and all these other things. He was incarcerated up to this very moment. Now, I wake up and I think about her, her mother said. I lay down and I think about her. The only thing I regret today is I cannot ask for his fate, and that would be for him to be hung, and she means hung with a rope by the neck for what he did to her little girl. The most touching part was her father, the little girl's father, sitting there and saying to Granville, I forgive you, bro. That's how strong my God is. I come here and I smile with no ill will. You are my brother. You made a mistake. You got time to make it right with God. He also said, the journey, the road you got ahead of you, you're gonna need God. Now, after handing down the sentence, Judge Michelle Cisco addressed Ritchie, and she said, if you do ever pray to a higher power, either now or at some point before the date of your death is scheduled to occur, and you truly seek forgiveness and redemption for the sins and the crimes you have committed, I hope that you are granted it. The judge said to him, may God have mercy on your soul, Mr. Ritchie. No, God not forgive him. No amount of prayers can't change what he did. He did what he did, and he must face his judgment for what he did, and that is where it ends. Religious people really trip me out when heinous crimes like these are committed against a 9-year-old innocent girl, right? And we're going to get into the details of what he actually did to this girl and how it happened. Although we covered this story previously, I am sure it's been a while now, so a lot of you don't know the backstory to this entire story. All right? Just another dirty Jamaican that got a chance to come to the United States of America and made us look like this in front of the world. So when people like Donald Trump use this as his ammunition to say that third world countries, shithole countries are sending the worst of the worst to our countries, so he wants to limit immigration, y'all understand why. And he can lean on these because they actually happened as his evidence for his point of view. Now, in September of 2019, the jurors unanimously agreed that Ritchie should face the death penalty. Per Florida law, the jury had to be unanimous, otherwise Ritchie would have just spent the rest of his days in prison. And for the type of crime he committed and the way he did it, they saw the death penalty fit, not life in prison. Yes, of course, we know it's going to take a while to get to the death penalty, and a lot of people are going to go do their research now and say, when was the last time someone was actually executed on death row in the state of Florida, blah, blah, blah. They don't really execute people anymore, so essentially he's just going to be doing life. I am here to tell you that he will be executed, okay? He is allowed to go through with appeals and so on and so forth. Once those are exhausted and there is no stay of execution, they will fry his ass from the inside out. Lethal injection. Now in 2014, the body of 9-year-old Williams was discovered off the Courtney Campbell Causeway. This is a highway, people. Her body was discovered dumped off the side of a highway, and we're going to talk about how it got there. The investigation revealed that a family friend, remember I always tell you, be careful who you leave your children around and trust nobody around your children. Nobody. An investigation revealed that a family friend named Ebony Wiley actually brought the 9-year-old girl to Ritchie's apartment on May 16th of 2014. She testified that she left the little girl alone with him to go make a marijuana run. She wanted to go buy some weed. When she came back, she says that the little girl was gone. Wiley testified that Ritchie told her that he let the little girl walk to the corner store, which is a CVS, to buy some candy. But then there was no signs of her coming back. Wiley's faces her own trial next month for her role in this particular incident and for lying to police, perverting the courts of justice, withholding evidence, etc., etc., all the charges they have laid against her. She has her day coming next week or next month. And for her, I hope she gets exactly what Ritchie gets. But if she doesn't, I hope she at least gets life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now, prosecutor says that evidence actually showed that Ritchie strangled the little girl and used a suitcase to stuff her body in the suitcase, and her naked body was battered by rocks along the mangroves. So he was trying to throw her into the mangroves, trying to get rid of the body. This wicked man, Richie's lawyer people, argued that brain scans shows abnormalities in his brain and did not have a serious criminal record before he killed the little girl. So they should be lenient on him. They even went into his background, saying that he was abused severely in Jamaica growing up, and so on and so forth. There was a part in his questioning where Ritchie actually said to the police officers when they first arrested him, he said he has about 9 sisters. Me have about 9 sisters, you know. They said he spoke with a strong Jamaican accent, undeniable Jamaican accent. He said to them, me have about 9 sisters, you know. And in Jamaica, man can't touch children because we have street justice. Guilty as hell. What a lie. Do you know how many children are molested and abused in Jamaica? You talking about man can't touch children? The police themselves know, okay? So they were already looking at him like he was suspect as hell. It was his cell phone that pinged him at the location of where the little girl's body must have been thrown from, over the causeway into the mangroves. That's how he did the little girl. Prosecutors called on its own doctors who argued that Ritchie's brain was perfectly normal, and they provided a psychiatrist who testified that yes, Ritchie does have some antisocial personality disorders that makes him prone to deceit, manipulation, and lack of empathy. What do we call this, people? Because we have a lot of these. The word is narcissists. A key piece of evidence helping to sway the juror towards a guilty verdict and later a death penalty sentence was the 911 call the little girl made when she was inside the Temple Terrace apartment with Ritchie. She actually made a 911 call. State Attorney Andrew Warren of the 13th Circuit said that justice played out at today's hearing. In Florida, we reserve the death penalty for the worst of the worst offenders. And if the brutal rape and murder of a 9-year-old doesn't meet that definition, I don't know what does. Fling the whole book, the whole library at him. Ritchie's sentence will now be automatically reviewed by the Florida Supreme Court, as it is required by law in all cases that have received a death sentence. So he's going to be there for a while. The victim's father believes that Ritchie will have no answer to a higher power. You get on your knees and you pray because the journey you got ahead, you're going to need it. So in long short, him and this woman went to their apartment. Apparently the real story, or the rest of the story, is that this little girl was left in the company of a family friend, female, and that female family friend was actually a girl that Ritchie himself was seeing, even though he had his own girlfriend at the time that lived in another city. He was still seeing this woman on the side. Him and this woman would do drugs together, and they would spend time together, have sex together, that kind of stuff. This is who her mom left her with. You hear me say, be careful who no left on the picnic around. This is who her mom left her with. And when her mom left her with her thinking, my daughter is with my friend, so she is safe, this woman took her over to Ritchie's house. She was supposed to be sitting in the living room watching TV while they go into the back room to do drugs and have sex. Anyways, she said she wanted some exotic weed, some hydro. So she left the little girl. You see how it goes wrong now. She left the little girl in the company of Ritchie, and she went out to drive around to look for the weed man to get the weed that they needed. They had already been smoking and drinking, and they were already also popping Percocets or ecstasy pills. Not Percocets, ecstasy pills, sorry. So she went to go get the weed, and by the time she came back, this animal, in that short space of time, this animal could not hold his urges. Him jump on the little girl, rape the little girl, beat her, broke her neck, broke up her body, stuffed her in a suitcase, drove down the street not too far from where he was at this apartment, drove down the street, threw her body hastily over the causeway. Now, I don't know if you know what a causeway is. For those of you who don't know what a causeway is, it's when the highways go layered. There's a highway and then there's another highway built on top of that highway, the causeway. He goes on the causeway, stops on the causeway and throws her body over into the mangrove bushes along the causeway. This is how wicked this man is. So his fate has come. Now, the bigger part of this for a lot of us is this. He's Jamaican. Through and through Jamaican. Jamaican parents on both sides, Jamaican grandparents, Jamaican siblings. He is Jamaican. Everything about him is Jamaican. He did not leave Jamaica until he was in his 30s to come to the United States. And he came, and this is what he offered in less than a decade of being here. My guess is that this man had done this before. But you see how karma works? You might get away with it or feel like you're getting away with it for a while, right? And it might last for years that you feel like you're getting away with it because nobody can pin you down. But woe be unto you when your justice comes. And his did come. Karma knocked on that door and visited and paid him in full. The man looked terrible. Him looked like he's going through some things behind bars. You understand? Well, good luck to you, sir. Good luck to you. That poor little girl did not stand a chance. You animal. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.